We all know disagreements are just a fact of life,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
right? Like, it doesn't matter if it's with your partner at home or someone you work with or even family.
Mm-hmm.
Conflict is going to happen.
It's inevitable.
But
I
what if there
think.
was a way to make those conversations a little easier,
Right.
a little bit less stressful,
Less stressful, better outcomes.
better outcomes?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're diving into today,
All right.
this idea of active listening. And we've got some really interesting research to break down today.
Okay.
And it's got some very specific techniques I think we can all use.
Yeah. You know what's really interesting about this is that the research we are looking at focuses on couples,
Oh, interesting.
romantic couples.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
what I found fascinating was that it can really apply to any relationship at all.
I see.
It could be work, it could be family,
Yeah.
friendships.
That makes sense because really the principles are about communication.
Exactly.
And we all have to communicate no matter what kind of relationship it is.
It's the foundation of any relationship.
It really is. So
Yeah.
let's get to the why.
Okay.
Why should someone care about active listening?
Well, the big thing is that it can help us de-escalate when things start to get a little out of control.
Oh, that's a good point.
It can help us find solutions to problems,
Okay.
and it can also help build a more supportive environment.
Okay, so it's not just about getting through the conflict. It's about like
Right.
actually improving the relationship.
Exactly, yeah. Building that foundation of trust and understanding.
And you said something really interesting about de-escalation
Mm-hmm.
because I know when I get into an argument,
Yeah.
my like immediate reaction is just like,
Our brains go into that fight or flight mode.
oh, fight or flight. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Like I either want to just like yell back or I just want to leave.
Exactly.
But active listening seems like it gives you a moment to step back from that.
Yeah, you hit the pause button.
Yeah.
You know, you take a breath.
And one of the techniques I thought was interesting was mirroring.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to be clear that we're not talking about like parroting, not just repeating.
Right, like just repeating what someone said back to them.
It's more about reflecting back
Okay.
the content and the emotion
Oh, okay.
so that they feel heard.
I see.
So, for example, imagine you and your partner
Yeah.
are disagreeing about, who does what around the house.
Oh, the classic
Sort of-
chores argument.
Okay.
Everyone's had that.
So instead of immediately,
Yeah.
firing back with your side of the story,
Right.
you try mirroring. So you might say something like,
Okay.
it sounds like you're feeling overwhelmed with all the housework.
Oh, that's good because you're not agreeing or disagreeing. You're just,
You're just acknowledging their
Yeah.
perspective.
okay, I like that.
And that can really help to just kind of cool things down.
That's a good first step.
Yeah.
Now, I also saw this other technique called validation.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain what that means in this context? Yeah, so validation is about recognizing that the other person's perspective makes sense to them,
Okay.
given their feelings and their experiences,
Yeah,
even if you don't necessarily agree with their viewpoint.
I see. So it's not saying they're right,
Yeah.
but you're saying,
You're saying,
I understand.
I get why you feel that way,
Yes.
given what you've been through.
That makes a lot of sense.
And this can really build trust and make them more open to hearing your side later on.
Oh, that's a good point, because if someone feels like you understand where they're coming from,
Right.
they're more likely to actually listen to you.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got mirroring and we've got validation.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see how someone might think,
Right.
oh, this is just a bunch of techniques.
Yeah.
Like, how do I make this feel genuine?
Right. How do you make it authentic?
Yeah, how do I not sound like I'm just
Exactly.
reading from a script?
Yeah. And that's where empathy comes in.
Okay.
It's about really tuning into the emotions behind the words. Pay attention to those nonverbal cues.
Oh.
Things like tone of voice,
Yeah.
body language, for example.
Yeah.
If someone's shoulders are slumped
Oh.
and their voice is really low,
Mm-hmm.
they might actually be feeling defeated, even if their words are angry.
I see what you mean.
So you have to go beyond just the surface level.
Yeah, I actually had this happen.
Oh, yeah.
I was texting with a friend,
Okay.
and I completely misread their tone.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was bad. I thought they were being sarcastic,
Oh.
but they were actually trying to be helpful.
Oh, wow.
And it caused this whole big misunderstanding.
That's a perfect example of how misreading those emotional cues
Yeah.
can lead to conflict.
Yeah, it was totally avoidable.
Oh, man.
So it really is important to pay attention to that subtext.
Absolutely. And the research we looked at also talks about a bunch of other techniques like
Okay.
restating, clarifying, reflecting, encouraging, validating.
Right.
And all of these work together to create that sense of feeling truly understood. And this brings us to a really interesting approach
Okay.
called couples dialogue.
Couples dialogue.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds interesting.
It is.
Tell me more about it.
So couples dialogue is a structured communication approach,
Okay.
specifically designed for managing conflict and deepening connection between partners.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's really targeted at couples.
Yeah.
And how does active listening play into this?
Well, active listening is the foundation of couples dialogue.
I see.
It creates that safe space for couples to express themselves, fully understand each other's perspectives, and work towards solutions collaboratively.
So instead of it being like a
Bye.
back and forth argument where you're just trying to
Exactly. It's a dialogue. You're
Yeah.
actually talking with each other,
That's a good point.
not at each other.
Yeah.
And by using techniques like mirroring and validation, couples can shift from that place of defensiveness and blame to a place of empathy and understanding.
So really the takeaway here is that active listening,
Yeah.
it's not just about hearing the words.
No, it's not just about hearing the words.
Right.
It's about fostering understanding and connection.
Yes.
It's a powerful tool for resolving conflict constructively in any relationship.
Any relationship.
Yeah,
And I think that's something for everyone to think about.
absolutely.
Like, think about a recent conflict you've had.
Yeah,
How could active listening have changed the dynamic?
that's a great question.
Right. And if you want to learn more about these techniques,
Mm-hmm.
we've got a link to the full handbook in our show notes.
Yeah, check it out.
So until next time,
Yeah.
happy listening. And remember, sometimes the best way to resolve a conflict is to just truly listen.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. See you next time.
See ya, Ben.
Bye.
Bye.